Some 6 months ago, I recorded a YouTube episode entitled A Crisis in the Armenian Quarter. In just under 15 minutes, I voiced my concerns in low decibels and perhaps a tad too diplomatically about the alleged 99-year lease by the Armenian Patriarchate in Jerusalem of some 20 to 25% of the area of the Armenian Quarter. I harbored legal concerns. I harbored political concerns, and I also harbored Armenian community concerns. However, and despite multiple brainstorming sessions worldwide with the Armenian clergy and laity alike about this unsettling revelation, a revelation because the project had apparently been bubbling for 2 to 3 years before the news broke out, I chose not to get involved directly. Mind you, I know Jerusalem fairly well. I worked there with the 13 hierarchical churches of Jerusalem for many years, legally and ecumenically, but also politically as second-track negotiator during the now maligned Oslo process. Moreover, I was both consultant and friend to His Beatitude Torkom II, the late Armenian Patriarch, and so I'd suggest that I learned quite a bit about the inner cogs and wheels of Jerusalem. However, I chose not to get involved, unlike Armenians who wanted their voices posted in case someone heard them, because I no longer lived in the Holy City. And the last thing I wanted was for the older or younger generations involved with this brief to accuse me of stepping on their toes or interfering and meddling in their domestic affairs. Besides, I assumed I was no longer privy to the latest details and so didn't wish to prejudge facts. You can, of course, watch my older episode if you wish. It's still on my YouTube channel. However, today I come back to you because I think it's necessary to flesh out a tad more this mysterious lease of the property known as the Cow's Garden, or in Armenian, Goveru Bardez, that is located smack in the middle of the Armenian Quarter. And for the uninitiated, the Armenian Quarter is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site in the Old City of Jerusalem. And this vacant land, measuring some 5,520 square meters, is valued at between 27 and 39 billion, that's with a B, dollars. By the way, let me add here that I speak neither as a lawyer nor as a political advisor, but simply as a concerned Armenian for whom Jerusalem matters both as a concrete reality and an idea. Now, some facts have already become well known to many of us. We know, for instance, that the Patriarch, whether wittingly or unwittingly, signed a lease document that will have allowed a company headed by an Australian Jew to build a luxury hotel smack in the middle of this prime property. We also know that the ecclesial rules and approvals were not all followed to the letter by the Patriarchate prior to signing the document. Moreover, the then director of real estate was accused of manipulating this brief for his own pecuniary interest and was also accused of pulling the wool over the Patriarch's eyes. And we know that there was a pushback against the Patriarch by the tiny Armenian community in Jerusalem, mobilizing the younger generations like Hagop Chernezian and Setrak Balian Jr. to help the Armenian case. But the matter took a dangerous turn only a few weeks ago when it was alleged that a Jewish settlers colonizing movement, Ateret Kohanim, was lurking behind this agreement. Now, those who know Jerusalem also know that these settlers want to Judaize Arab East Jerusalem no matter the cost in dollars or shekels. And given that Prime Minister Netanyahu's government gives free rein to these settler movements with their ministers in his government too, the matter became potently political and then also violent. Why? Because on at least two occasions, a group of men invaded the property, threatened the Armenian residents and seminarians, and attempted to take over the said land by force and claimed that it was now theirs anyway. To their merit, the Armenians fought back and even pitched a tent on the very same spot, so they'll always guard the property from further incursions or attacks by settlers or their hired thugs. In fact, two Armenians from the community were arrested. Imagine, those defending the property are arrested, not their attackers, but were promptly released by the district court, and the appeal by the police against the release was also thrown out of court. But what now? As a lawyer, I was initially, say 6 months ago, of the opinion that the lease will not be easily revoked or abrogated unless it contained a standard clause allowing for its cancellation in return for the payment of a hefty fine by the Patriarchate. But even then, I thought that the High Court in Israel would not agree to give leave to hear this case. After all, even legal matters turn political in Jerusalem. But now, if the alleged involvement of the settlers can be proven and fraud could be deduced in this transaction, the district court or the High Court might adjudge on the size of the Armenian Patriarchate and in so doing annul this agreement. Time will tell, though, and there might be many other developments in the weeks or months ahead that could possibly impact such a decision. My concern is, of course, the loss of some 20 to 25% of prime Armenian land in the heart of the old city of Jerusalem. But it is far more dangerous than simple ethnocentrism or even geography. I am not an Armenian nationalist on steroids, but East Jerusalem is still deemed occupied territory under international law, no matter the claims by Israel and its allies. In fact, it is considered, whether de jure some future day or de facto today, as the capital of a Palestinian state. Leasing this land for 99 years, a sale of sorts, frankly, so the occupying power can build a toehold in the old city, is, in my opinion, ill-judged. No wonder that the Palestinian and Jordanian authorities were so rattled by the lease agreement that they rescinded their recognition, a faraman in Arabic, of the incumbent patriarch given to him in accordance with the status quo agreement dating back to Ottoman times. Hiding one's head in the sand is not a solution here. The mix of religion and politics is too heady, too toxic for this transaction to sail through. The Armenian Church, or any other church for that matter, cannot transact with an occupying force, no matter the financial temptations or other justifications. The attention of the world media has focused on this story, and so it is not easy to hide behind a wall of silence. Social media disallows it. I hope this whole saga can be put to rest soon, and that means, for me at least, the cancellation of the lease and the restoration of the legal status quo ante. I also pray, rather appropriately as it happens in this case, that the lessons could be learned from this unfortunate debacle. After all, the Armenian heritage of Jerusalem belongs to the Armenian people and their historical memories worldwide, not only to the few huddled in or around the walls of the convent in Jerusalem. And so, recall the words of Voltaire. They might be helpful and suitable. Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. Շնորհավոր նորդարի եւ օրհնյալ աստվածահայտնություն բոլորիդ։ Մոդ աբակային քաչալերական լուրերով։